What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Dorian for the donation to the channel via the Cash App. Hit a video request and took a day off from YouTube yesterday. Sometimes you get a little bit, a little bit burnt out being on here. At least I do. I put out so much content. Hadn't taken the day off for shit since sometime in June, I guess. So thought I would go ahead and take a day off, recharge my batteries, and come back with some more videos for you guys. Shit, gotta do me sometimes too. So look, man, who wins between the 2013 Miami Heat and the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder? Both teams had great records. The Miami Heat went 66-16. The Thunder went 68-14. Those are both the best records in their franchise history. The Miami Heat, of course, had the second longest winning streak ever, 27 consecutive games. Um, the Thunder, I believe, boasted the greatest point differential, at least up to that point in time in NBA history. I don't know if the 2026 Thunder had a greater one or not. I can't recall. But anyway, to me, both these teams, from a historical standpoint, are overrated. I think that the Miami Heat dominated in an era that was relatively weak, especially in the Eastern Conference. This was after the decline and fall of the Boston Celtics team. That Pistons team was long gone. That Nets teams were long gone. Iverson was retired. This is before the rise of really any Eastern Conference competition, and before the rise of the Golden State Warriors. The only real team out there as far as competition at this point in time was the San Antonio Spurs. For the Thunder, of course, they were playing in an era that I consider much more competitive, and they won 68 games. So that's pretty much telling you what I'm ready to, as far as how I feel about this particular matchup, this hypothetical. I think that the advantage that the Thunder have is in particular at the point guard position. I mean, it's literally Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, reigning MVP, over Mario Chalmers. Um, that's one hell of an advantage. And even if you say, okay, well, let's put LeBron on Shea, right? And at that point in time, even though Bleacher Report lists him as the 22nd greatest defender, in these playoffs, LeBron's defense was pretty meager, to say the least, right? For the most part, pretty meager. Um, I think Shea eats LeBron up offensively if he is guarding him. And then if you put LeBron on Shea, that risks LeBron getting into foul trouble, which you don't want to have as far as the guy that's running your offense. If he's not running the offense, then Miami is kind of like, it's just not going to work because LeBron wasn't, still he doesn't play that great off the ball, but he really wasn't great off the ball then, or good off the ball. Um, then if you're the Thunder, you have to ask yourself, if LeBron is guarding Shea, then we could just put Jalen Williams at the three and let him run amok. He's going to average 30 points a game in the series. Or you could just insert, well, I would put Jalen Williams at three and then insert maybe somebody like Wallace or some other guy off the bench who, statistically is going to probably match what Dwayne Wade's going to put up, because Wade by 2013 was clearly diminishing as a basketball player, right? Um, Plus, LeBron having to guard Shea, which is not what LeBron wants to do, is going to take away from his offensive production and efficiency. So that's why I think outside of certain switches, LeBron's not going to be really guarding Shea. LeBron's going to want to guard somebody that doesn't score much, which will probably be in a normal lineup situation, Lou Dort, right? But Lou Dort has size, right? So Lou Dort, being a good defender, it's gonna make LeBron work harder. Not gonna stop LeBron, but he's gonna make him work harder. But I think the key matchup, the key uh, thing to look at in this series is the Thunder's death. That was one of the key factors into why the Miami Heat struggled with the Spurs, because of their death. And ultimately, Miami having to play deep minutes in that particular series is what caused the difficulties they had in that first series, 2013, a series that they were supposed to have won. But if it wasn't for Popovich mismanagement of, strategy, and as far as playing who for how many minutes, it wasn't for Ginobili turning to Brett Favre with interceptions out there, and Tim Duncan, not playing like vintage Tim Duncan, even at that older age. The Spurs would have won that shit. Hell, if it wasn't for Ray Allen heroics, they would have won Game 6. But Popovich made the right adjustments in Game 7. Ginobili played a lot better. Duncan was much more serviceable. Wade got a year older, and they lost. So imagine swapping the Spurs with the Thunder as far as players in their primes and death. And the Thunder are relentless defensively. Relentless. They don't stop. Now, the only thing I think they can put some bullshit into this series is if Adam Silver and the NBA try to some of their shenanigans with calls. Because the Thunder have a reputation of being a team that flops. So they can call, you know, offensive fouls, an exorbitant amount of fouls against the Thunder. They could try to undersell Shea as far as free throws. And for that reason, that's why at best, I can see this series going maybe, at best, for the Heat, 6 games. But I tend to say 4-1. 4-1. And then another thing I want to point out, too, even though Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren are not overwhelming, especially Holmgren, overwhelming talents, in my opinion, when you're going up against Joel Embiid and an emaciated Chris Bosh, then Holmgren, I think, can hold his own more. I think, even though he doesn't like physicality, uh, Chris Bosh wasn't that physical, especially, you know, by that point in time, he lost a lot of weight, was more perimeter orientated. So I could see Chet Holmgren averaging, 15 and maybe 8 in that series, 16 and 8. Isaiah Hartenstein, I could see him bullying Joel Embiid a little bit, as far as rebounding. Not Joel Embiid, excuse me, Joel Anthony. So, but I really think it's the Thunder and their bench. The Thunder have guys who can put the ball on the floor and create shots. Outside of Wade and LeBron, they don't really have guys that can do that. I mean, you could argue maybe Ray Allen, but at that point in his career, he didn't have the explosiveness or speed, I think, to really be able to, do that type of shit anymore. Um, so yeah, I just think all the advantages go to Thunder. I say Thunder in 5. But tell me what you guys think.